Hello and welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Rugby League, episode 6, hosted by Conor and
Shay.
And today we're going to go through, on the eve of the Super League season, our predictions for round 1. We're going to go through all 7 games and see who comes out on top. We're going to play a little bit of a game between ourselves throughout the season, a point for every correct result, and we're just going to focus on the eventual winners, not the actual scorelines. But yeah, we might decide if some teams are getting a tonking or if it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
But yeah, take a point per correct result, and we will see what the winner eventually looks like by the end of the season. We might have some guests throughout. We're looking to get some fans of different clubs onto our Unfiltered Rugby League episode, so if you're interested, let us know. We've already got a few guests lined up alongside our Behind the Name series as well. So, round 1, incoming, Thursday night, 8 o'clock, 12th of February.
Nearly there, aren't we?
Newly promoted team, York City Knights, against the champions from last year, ULKR.
Yeah, it's only one way in it, this one. It'd be a good game to watch, obviously, just to see how York get on, but there's no way. Well, I wouldn't back against KR, it'd be too difficult.
Could there be an upset?
Yeah, no one knows what they're really expecting from York, do they? Yeah, obviously they played a cup match, but you can't really take much away from them, so preview relay is going to be a little bit difficult. Obviously, they've got they have got the same spine as last year, haven't they? York. So to preview that could be, and there will be bits and bats that they are able to preview, but it is a tricky one because obviously you don't really know what you're going to get.
It's a bit of a free hit for York, I think. They're going to come into the game, obviously, firing. They want to be able to, like every team will do, first round of the season. Everyone wants that W next to the name, don't they? No one wants to be sat down the bottom, either been tonked 50-0, or whether you just you've lost your first game, you're in that bottom 6, aren't you, pretty much? So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, this one. Hopefully a big crowd. I'm sure ULKR are going to take a lot of fans over there as well, and York can get behind. I hope they've been doing a lot of
sellout.
Is it?
As good as, yeah.
How good would that be?
I think they've got less than 100 tickets left.
That'd be class.
Yeah.
If they're doing that first game, it proves that there's something there for York. It's always been one of them, hasn't it, where you look at York as a place and think, how nice is York and how good would it be? I know it's not M62 corridor, but it's not a million miles away. It's not like we're trying to grow something in Scotland or Cumbria or London or wherever else. It's an hour away from most, quite centralised.
Good day out for fans, innit? So
good day out. I think they're saying it's not, obviously it's stadium we've been, but it's not like right in the city centre, is it? Which is a bit of a shame, but there's easy transportation.
There is stuff around the ground as well, so
yeah, it's class. The complex is unbelievable, and obviously it's not just a stadium for the rugby, is it? It's got all sorts in there as well. So yeah, I think definitely this season will be one that we'll be visiting a few times, and I think definitely on them sunnier days when you're on the riverbank in York and heading over to the game, I think it'll be class, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are we thinking then? So are we thinking landslide victory? Are we thinking close game? What do you reckon? ULKR, obviously, massive win over amateur side Loch Lane. I was told that Loch Lane financially have basically had the subs to be able to be provided for the next 10 years from that game. So yeah, on paper, people probably look at it and think, is there any point? But I think for them amateur teams, yeah, what a day out and the build-up and everything to it. They've got a bit of a hiding light, but yeah, I don't think, can ULKR get much from that game? Probably not. It's another run out. I don't think probably the match fitness, I don't think gets any better from playing at that standard, but give some of their younger lads a bit of a chance of a run out as well. And yeah, they played quite a decent team, to be fair, that night, which I were a bit surprised at, but
yeah. To be fair, everyone did across Super League, which is good, especially if you're playing at Loch Lane, you're playing for Loch Lane, obviously be an amateur club. How good is it to go up against, Super League level talent and obviously players that have played in, the grand final sort of thing last year, and I think it's brilliant. And not just that, even for you younger players in like the Championship playing in some of them teams, like it's still a massive experience getting to play maybe on Super League grounds or just playing against players that they watch week in, week out. And I think it's good over for everything, like I say, the money-wise thing, for the money side of it for the clubs lower down. It helps them massively. So I'm not against them bringing them in.
100%. And I see this being a tricky fixture for Hull KR. I think some fans might be going to this thinking, Thursday night lights, start of the season, round 1, going in firing. They've just won easy the other night. I won't be shocked if they get turned over, mate.
I think it's a tough one, isn't it? I think the first half's going to be really tight. I really do. I think the first half's going to be tight. You look at like round 1 over like the last 2-3 years, and they've always been quite like tight games.
That's what I mean. There's going to be a shock somewhere in these fixtures, I think. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, there always is. That's what I mean. So it's obviously it's easy to just sit in and say Hull KR and go with all the favourites throughout the fixture list, but it never pans out that way. But I'm personally going to go with Hull KR. I think they do get the 2 points in the end, but I do think it's going to be a closer game than people think. I don't think KR run away with it with 20 or 30 points.
I agree. I don't think KR win this by a huge amount. I do think they win, but I think it's closer than what people are going to think it might be. And I wouldn't be shocked if Hull KR fans are coming away from that game a little bit surprised. Do Hull KR change anything, or do you think it'll just be a very similar squad to last year with a couple of additions in?
Yeah, I think it'll be more or less same squad. They'll see how they get on. The players outside of that, it's an hard one, isn't it, when you first come up, and obviously recruited for Mark Applegarth to sort of gauge his team. He's probably, I think he'll stick with a very similar team as what he played last year, obviously with the new additions.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be very similar. He'll stick to what he knows, obviously for the first couple of rounds, see how he goes on, and then he could look to make changes from that point on.
So both going for Hull KR in this one.
Yeah, Hull KR.
Cool. Next one, Leeds Rhinos, or I'll rephrase it, with Lee being at home. Lee Leopards v Leeds Rhinos. Close one.
Yeah, this one, obviously, you could go either way. If some people, whatever you was to pick, I wouldn't be against the idea. I'm actually going to this one as well, so I'll be there live. But it's going to be a tough game for both. I think this game of round 1 is going to have a finals feel to it. I think it was like when Lee played Wigan in round 1 last year. Like 2 top teams going for it and ended up being 1-0. I don't think it'll go like that, but I think it's both teams are going to be desperate to win that. Lee's opening 3 games are awful. Leeds, Wigan and St Helens. So they're going to be dying to get on the scoreboard straight away, get the 2 points in early doors.
I think definitely with that home advantage, they need to be probably picking up a win early doors, because I think they're a team, really strangely, some are having as league leaders and some are putting as 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, there's no real in-between, is there?
So I think we don't actually know what we're expecting from Lee. There's a little bit of movement. It looks like Trout's off to Cronulla, doesn't it? So a little bit of kind of unsettlement there, obviously with the things happening in the off-season as well, without a Mile Hanley, by the looks of things as well. So yeah, it could go either way, that one. I'm going to go with Lee just with home advantage. Similarly, with Leeds, they're looking like some people are putting them to finish 2nd and 1st. Some people are looking at finishing 5th and 6th. It's really open, isn't it, mate, when we look at it? And yeah, I just think maybe with that home advantage, Friday night, we've been there on a Friday at Lee, and what an atmosphere they make it there. He's done class, hasn't he, Beaumont?
Yeah, 100%.
What it is over there at Lee Sports Village. And yeah, I think jury's out on Leeds. I look at them and think, yeah, they had a good season last year. Are they building to what's going to be coming from them? 1st, 2nd place, maybe getting towards those final appearances again. But I just don't see it. I just can't see Jake Conor having as much of a good a year as what he had last year. I think some players will really stand up. I think you've got players that are leaving. There's a lot of uncertainty about the end of the year. Aledski's, again, that's been coming up again, hasn't it, about him moving maybe to Perth next season. Had a couple of injuries as well. I know they've made some kind of quite astute signings like Danny Levi, O'Neill, players like that, but I don't know. I just think it could take them a while to get going. So I'm just going to go with Lee Leopards on this with home advantage.
Yeah, I'm going Lee as well. All the things you've just said, home advantage. I think Leeds will end up having a good season. But I'm just unsure to see how they go on. Obviously, Jake Conor there stand out this year. I think he needs to have another big year for Leeds to be in and whereabouts they want to be.
Do you think he'll have a better season than last year?
No, it's hard to say, innit? But I've spoke to people about this before. It's hard for me to say when he's only had one good season. He's had one good full year of consistency. That was last year, and that's at the age of 29. So yeah, he's coming into his prime. But I think you look over previous years. Has anyone doubted his talent? No one's ever doubted his talents. Whether it's being the broadcasters, the pundits and things like that. No one's ever doubted his talent. It's just getting a full 20 games out of the 27 out of him. Just hasn't happened before. Obviously, yes, he has had injuries and stuff like that, but I think it's too difficult to sit here and say he's going to have a better season than last season. And I really hope he does, by the way, because I would like to see him in an England jersey for the Ashes. So I just want to put that on record. I would like to see that. I think he's got a big boot. I think he can help the team massively. So yeah, I do really hope he has a big year, but do I think he will? No.
Yeah, undeniably skilled player. But will he have a better season than last year? It will remain to be seen throughout the season. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they start the campaign. Leeds, I think, if they start with a loss, there could be a lot of disgruntled Leeds Rhinos fans. I think a lot of them have got high hopes for this season and probably targeting this as an away win. They have won there in the past, so it's not a ground that they struggle to play against. I know some teams do struggle going there, but yeah, they've won away at Lee before on a number of occasions, so it's possible. But I just think, again, a bit of a tight affair, but I think Lee will just end up nicking that one by maybe a try.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So Lee for both on that one. Dragons, interestingly, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Dragons v the Giants.
Yeah, this one, again, another one, probably quite easy to go with the Dragons, maybe looking at the recruitment and the squads look stacked in it. So it's a difficult one. I think Dragons will have a better season than they did last year, but that one it could go either way. But I just think with it being the first game, Giants are travelling over there early on in the season. I do think Catalan will get that win.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be easy to go with Catalan on this one. Again, home advantage, always difficult, but again, Huddersfield, another team, notoriously haven't struggled away in Catalan. They've won fixtures there before, against kind of the grain sometimes as well, where you've never expected them to turn up and put in a decent performance over there, but quite possibly first round of the season might be a really good time for them to go over. Still, you'd think quite an not unsettled maybe, lack of game time for Catalan. They've sort of mixed and matched players together. I'd say the Giants squad's probably a lot more settled than that Catalan one is, with a few additions they've made, but Dragons seem to have obviously put together a team which looks really strong on paper, and it'll be just interesting to see how they perform. I know they got a good result away. Batley wanted to play the weekend, and a tough ground to go to. I remember they played Halifax, I think, last season in Challenge Cup, and I think they only just managed to scrape a win there. It wasn't a convincing victory. Whereas, I don't know, maybe there's a different feel about Catalan this season. I do think, whether it be at the beginning or at some point, they will start to pull strings together, I think. Some of them players are too good not to pull strings. We've said it before about Catalan, but they have got some real superstars in that squad this season, and you're forgetting the likes of Kotrick that's there still, Tommy Makinson there still, with some little additions, like Phoenix as well, that's gone over. Again, kind of like unproven, a dad that's played the game for a long time. But yeah, I think he'll go well, maybe as an interchange player coming off the bench. A little bit similar to how Theo Farge kind of used to be as well. So be interesting to see how he goes. But yeah, I'm going to go with, again, I'm just going to, purely based on home advantage, that I think they will kickstart the campaign with a win this season. I'm going to go with Catalan Dragons at home in this one.
Yeah, agreed.
You're in agreement. So, all on the same so far.
Yeah.
So we'll either be on 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, but all equal at this point. So we will see. This is one where it might maybe divide opinions in this podcast room today. Warrington v St Helens, Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, this one, Yeah, this one again is it's a tough one.
Big blow for Saints, Matty Lees.
Yeah, it's a big blow. Obviously, that captain got promoted this year. I think Wellesby's the vice, so I think he may step up. That could be incorrect, but I think he is.
Is he easily replaced, Matty Lees, in these next, say, 10 to 12 fixtures? They've set it out for 12 weeks, probably. Might end up being less.
I don't think he's easily replaceable, because what he brings to his team is going to be a lot different to. Obviously, I think all that's going to happen is Clemmer slots into that prop spot, and obviously Shorrocks comes into 13, which was going to happen anyway. Obviously, with either Clemmer dropping down to the bench or whoever the starting props were. So
well, they went with thingy last week, didn't they? They had Lees and Clemmer starting at prop last week, so it's a case of who comes in. Do they put Walmsley in there and to go with a completely different outlook? Because to me, you're changing a 70-80 minute player to a 30 to 40 minute player. Completely changes maybe their model or their game plan or what they're going for. Or maybe someone that's likely to do bigger minutes, maybe George Delaney, start him, put him in and not disrupt that kind of impact substitution with Alex Walmsley off the bench. I think there's no denying it's a big loss for Saints. To lose your captain early doors, it's not just losing a player, is it? He's meant to be the leader of the team, and now it's going to change. And we presume they've got plenty of leaders in that squad.
Yeah.
But someone's going to have to front up for them big minutes and that defensive stint. We've always said before, haven't we, that I think his best attributes are his defence and his minutes that he does in the game. So someone's going to have to cop for that somewhere, whether that be players around him are staying on for longer periods or there's that impact from the bench. Who knows? But yeah, Warrington we don't know really too much about. Again, they've changed a lot of their team around for this off-season and pre-season, so we can't really go too much off their cup game the other night. I don't think that were convincing either, were it? They were struggling early doors by the looks of it.
Yeah, they seemed to early doors. Obviously, they did get the win in the end. I feel like it's hard to take anything from the trial games in it. Or even the Challenge Cup games playing lower teams. So I think the first game of the season in the Super League has a different feel altogether. Don't think anyone can deny that. I think it's just going to be interesting to see how St Helens go. I don't think it was tested when Castleford played them in the trial game.
No,
obviously it wasn't tested in the Challenge Cup game.
Similar to KR, isn't it? They've not really had that sort of big test. Like most teams haven't, because I can't imagine most are going full throttle at the minute in these trial games, like you say. But I don't know, it'll be an interesting one, because this is going to be the biggest test for Saints. They're away from home. I think, from what I've read, it's going to be a sellout crowd, which is one of the first times that's happened in a long time at Warrington. So obviously a lot of optimism at Warrington. Quietly, I'd say, gone about business in the off-season, pre-season, not really heard too much about them.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone really knows what to expect. And I think, don't quote me on it, but a lot of people are probably wondering if Burgess is going to see this season out.
Yeah, I don't think he'll see this season out, but...
Because he'll leave or because he'll be sacked?
Mutual consent, as they say. Mutual agreement, I reckon. And McNamara will step up to the head coach, even though I'm saying that, I'm still going to go with a Warrington win on that first night, just because I just think Saints will make too many errors. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I think Saints playing this new system, I went to the Castleford game, I still thought they made a lot of errors. You've seen them in the Challenge Cup game throwing the ball around the back in their own half, which you can get away with it with the lower teams.
Still made errors though, didn't they? Forward pass on their own 10, lost in balls.
He still made errors, and that just worries me, because that's Paul Rowley's style. He's not changing that when he goes to play Warrington. He's not going to change that when he goes to play Wigan. He's not going to change that when he goes and plays these big teams. He's not changing that, and I'd be interested to see how they go on. I think Saints will have a better season than last year. But
that could be an issue though, couldn't it? He's not willing to change his style of play.
Well, he said it, and he said it in the fans.
Yeah.
The fans, or whatever it was, that opening.
He said
they've asked for it, which I think St Helens fans did ask for it because the attack was so dead.
They looked good on Friday night. We watched it.
100%. But that's the thing. I think with Paul Rowley's team, it happened at Salford. When it comes off, you're thinking, "Wow, like what a team it is to watch." But then when it doesn't, it can get quite ugly because they could go. If they go down by 2 or 3 tries on Friday night, they're not changing and holding back and firming up. They're playing the exact same all the way through for 80 minutes.
It sort of strikes me. I always remember, like, before coaches going on about this, like, I think Watson always used to say, didn't he, like, sticking to the process. Stick to the process. And what's that? Kicked at corner. Wait for them to make an error. It's just not in Rowley's nature, is it? I don't think so. Yeah, Saints fans, you might be seeing some more entertaining rugby. However, possibly might result in some more losses or more tries conceded on the cards. They had a good, I think, did they only concede 50-odd tries last season? Worked out average around two and a bit a game, which is incredibly low. So they had a really good defensive season, but their attack just struggled, didn't it? So
that's the thing. If they do firm up in defence, which they already have done anyway, and they keep that going, they might be able to afford to make these errors and just think, look, we'll back as defence, we'll get the ball back, and then for the 3 or 4 times it works out of 7 or 8 times, we'll score that try, and then that's how we'll win these games. And that will work in a lot of games. I just think sometimes if it doesn't go to, say, you make a couple errors back to back, you're playing a top team, i.e. like your Wigan or your Wellington or whoever Lee, they grab a couple tries, and then you start to force it even more. I'm just interested to see how it pans out. That game, again, can go either way. Saints could quite easily win that game. But yeah, I'm just going to go with the Warrington win, just on the back of the fact they make a couple of errors, and which no doubt they will do.
Who goes in as favourites in that one?
I think Saints go in as favourites.
See, that's the thing. I think they've spoken quite often in media in recent weeks about, we're not the hunted anymore. They used to always be the team being hunted, having to play up every week, and now it's kind of looking at where, they're not so much the favourite anymore going into every game, but it looks as if round 1, they're going to be going in as favourites, which is interesting, really, because quite a lot of people, I seen somewhere, I can't remember who it was, one of the journos has said they're missing out on top 6, which which I'm surprised at. I can't see that happening. I just cannot see that happening at all.
It's just the errors thing for me. I just think when you go into a club like St Helens, Wigan, you're talking these top clubs that have won it time after time, year after year. I just don't think that brand of rugby works in a top club.
So I'll just change that. I'll flip it then. If Paul Rowley didn't go to Saints, and for instance, he went to Lee, right? Did Lee finish outside the top 6?
No.
So what's the difference? Is it the players?
The club, the tradition, quite simpler. I just think St Helens, Wigan, are probably, for me, the biggest clubs in Super League. And Leeds. So they've always... I just don't think Paul Rowley can go into them 3 clubs. This includes St Helens. I don't think he goes into Leeds. I don't think he goes into Wigan. But obviously, he's gone to Saints now, but I don't think he goes in there. And I can't see this style of rugby working at this type of club. Now, if he goes, he could have gone to, if he'd gone to Hull FC, and have backed him a lot more. I just think this style of rugby and the fans that these top clubs have created over the years, just because of the amount of success, if it don't go right in the first 2 or 3 games, and they're groaning around the stadium when you're making errors in your own 20, when you're already down by, say, because there will be times over the year where they're down by 12, and they're trying to throw it around in their own half. They make a knock.
Throw an intercept or whatever, and it's 18-0 before you know it. Yeah.
And you start groaning. And then,
see where you're coming from.
You know what I mean? So, like I say, when it works, the attacking players that they've got, Tristan Saylor, Jack Wellesby, Jackson Hastings.
I think the points difference is going to be really high.
Oh, 100%. And the outside back sheet, when you look at Nenny McDonald, he just looks
he looks good the other night.
It looked good when they play Castleford as well. So, like, you look at these players and the wingers they've got, like, pacey wingers, like, they're going to score tries.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. They're going to score tries. It's just...
It's that defence backing it up, basically, these errors.
100%, yeah.
But we'll call it then. So,
are
you going Warrington?
I'm going to go Warrington.
Right, well, we're going to have to split it eventually, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Saints, but purely on the evidence of what we've seen in them couple of sort of fixtures that we've watched, and then obviously the Warrington not really up to much in the off season as well. I just think that the Warrington squad, I just don't think it looks anything as good as what it has in recent years. I think it looks really poor, sort of like 17, 19 man squad. So yeah, and they haven't got much depth either into it. So yeah, I think we'll just go based off that. The sort of new Rolly era might come out on top in that, and I just think, yeah, maybe Wolves have been going quietly about business, but I think they'll look worse off this year than they do any other year that I've seen them. So
100%.
yeah, I'll go Saints for your off Warrington.
Yeah.
Moving on then, we've mentioned Hull FC. Hull FC v Bradford Bulls, newly promoted Bradford Bulls, heading over to the MKM. It's looking like it's going to be another bumper crowd as well. So really positive for the sport, positive for Hull, positive for Bradford. Bulls fans will be excited for this one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, again, another tough game. I know, obviously, we keep saying no game's going to be easy, but because it's that initial first round, Bulls are going to be right up for it. It's first time back in Super League in however many years. Their full away allocation, they're going to be all there. They're going to be all shouting. They're going to be all excited. R5 on a Saturday. They're going to be full of joy. It's going to be It's going to be really. I think that one's going to be a really intense game. That one. Rich Miles already come out and said I think they've sold about 16,000, 17,000 tickets.
Class that, really.
Which is unbelievable.
I know Hull have always had a good
going,
haven't they, as well, but
obviously,
they're obviously seen some of it.
100%.
They had a good year last year, probably just injuries maybe sort of derailed them towards the end of the season, but yeah, I think they've got a good coach in Cartwright, probably looking better for it, the signings that they've made, got some experienced winners there now as well, which will really help them, but yeah, obviously Bradford the other day managed to get the result against London. Did look the better team, probably worthy of that win. I thought there definitely was a gulfing difference there, despite Bradford maybe being seen still as that championship kind of calibre players. But yeah, could there be an upset? Could there be a Saturday evening upset?
There's always potential, isn't there? But I'm gonna go with Hull on that one. Just think what they've brought over this, especially last season, the buzz around the place. Especially this year, they missed out on top six last year, which, you know, people can argue if they didn't get them certain injuries, they could have been well in there above Wakefield. But yeah, I'm going to go with them. Like I say, bumper crowd, home fans. That's another stadium I've been in on a tough afternoon where there's been a lot of Hull FC fans, you know, chanting Old Faithful and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hull FC on that one. But again, I think that's going to be a closer game than some people may think.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one thinking I think it'll start very close.
Yeah,
I think FC will run away with it. I think they could get some early points on the board here. Talking 40, 50 points at the end of this one. I just think Bradford might start strong. Could be 6, 12, 6 for a while. But yeah, 20, 30 minutes in, I think they're just maybe blow them away at, say, 20-odd 6 at half time, and I think they'll blow them away in second half. I just think they're going to have too much for them. I think Bradford still, like it is with some of the other promoter clubs, I think there's going to come game 3, 4, 5, 6, start to take some players in on loan where possible. And it's going to look something like that, I reckon, until maybe they can get some bodies in.
Yeah.
As we see before, teams come up, you lose your first 3, 4, 5 games, players are getting injured, your better players are getting injured. I can't say anything other than Hull FC, especially at home. However, it's going to be bouncing.
Yeah.
So yeah, both Hull FC on that one.
Yep.
Moving on then, again, Saturday evening, Valentine's night treat. Sure there'll be plenty of men and women on dates there on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really daft time to put that game on. For reference, 8 o'clock, Saturday night.
I tell you what though, it'd be all right. A few Wakefield fans will have been saying to the missus, you fancy a weekend in France? They will tell you.
They will have been, but only problem is, when it's at Trinity.
Oh, is it at Trinity? Oh, I thought we were at Toulouse.
I don't think Eddie will be saying you fancy a night at Bellevue.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one, yeah.
I think they've lost some... I think they've lost some crowd there, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if they've had any control of that timing, but it's sort of, everyone knows Saturday 14th of Feb, not good. If it's that ain't good for kids at that time to be getting kids. Your first round at season, you've got Toulouse who are not going to be bringing hardly anyone.
Yes.
There could be an handful of people coming there. The only thing I will say is Trinity have been going round and they've been doing what we spoke about before. They've been handing tickets out. I know, thanks to Luke over at Wakefield Trinity, part of the foundation there. He donated 60 tickets to our primary school, which I thought were unreal. So if he's doing that to ours, and he's probably done it to a fair few others as well. So I think that's brilliant. That's what it's about. Tickets in, and then tickets for the children, and then obviously adult ticket as well. Usually 27, 28 quid can get an adult ticket for a tenner. I think you can't go wrong with that. So they have definitely tried to do something which I think is a real positive. More clubs need to be doing it, not just on a Saturday night, but I think more often than not, keep these crowds going, get these bumper crowds going, and get more faces. Especially children, that's where it starts. Getting these children at games early doors.
I think as soon as you've got, I think obviously the clubs will know, obviously, like I say, a lot more than us, but I think as soon as you've got, if it's getting, they're going to know the expected fans throughout the season. So they, like I say, especially when the French teams are coming over, get around to your primary schools and even some high schools and get some tickets handed out. Get the young teenagers at the game, get them excited, and grow the sport. Like if your Hull, not only that, they'll spend money in and around the ground, and out of, say, you mentioned Luke's give 60 tickets to your primary school. If he's gone round to, say, 3 primary schools, that's 180 tickets. They could get 15, 20 season ticket holders in the future because of that.
100%.
The parents go with the kids are all of a sudden excited.
That's to be done. Your half-time stuff as well, though.
100%.
Half-time, I know it happens, you get kids on the pitch, but that just more often, of it, getting more age groups on there. It doesn't have to be just the young ones. Go right through as far as we can. Even if you go right through, well, just get less teams on, but older kids, give them that opportunity to play on that pitch. I remember, you were buzzing if you were playing down at Weldon Road or at Bellevue.
Yeah,
you're on the pitch. When do you get to play on pitch?
You do. Yeah,
so just more of it. You've got mums, dads, families. Get them in for free. They shouldn't be buying the tickets.
Yeah.
Your kids playing on the pitch, right? Here's 2 tickets for your parents or your grandparents, whatever. Get them in. Get them watching the game. Potentially got more eyes on it, and then more tickets sold in the future. So, back to the game. Back to the point what we were coming to. Trinity against Toulouse. Newly promoted Toulouse. I think it's a tough ask for them coming over.
Yeah, I think Wakefield, they've got a pretty solid team. They haven't changed too much, and the things they have changed is really good. Like I say, Liam Hood leaving. I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely not past his best, but he's not getting any better. To bring in a grand final winner from over the NRL in Smoother, then it's a massive coup for them, and Jazz to Vega as well. A really good 13 that's very versatile and whatnot, and I think they'll go well again, Wakefield, this season. I don't think no one can argue with that, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to go with Wakefield to win that game.
Same, I'm gonna have to go with Trin, to be fair. I think they're sitting top at league by Sunday night. I think the points difference will be huge. I think they'll put a number on them, to be honest. I just can't see Toulouse. It's going to be a massive difference coming over here. Playing at Wakey, Saturday night. Hopefully they do get a good crowd. I think it is forecasted to be.
Yeah, they'll still get a decent crowd,
despite obviously what we've just been talking about there. But they've had more season ticket holders than they have in recent times. And I think the likes of the players you've just mentioned there, like Smoothie and Tavega, not even including your McMeekin, Tom Johnson, Matt Jowett, all these players that are just been playing well last season, and it's only going to add to that. So, I think some of them players are going to absolutely kill it on Saturday night, and I can see it being an easy 50-60 scoreline. So I'm going to go with Trin on that one, so I think we're both in agreement there.
Yeah, happy days.
And then lastly then, just to round it up, coming on to Castleford Tigers against Wigan Warriors. Wigan Warriors, obviously a big win against Rochdale at the weekend in the Cup. Castleford, not a big win, but a defensive win, should we say. The nilled, obviously, Doncaster. What do you reckon?
I reckon this one could catch us out. Just think, Cass went to Saints, obviously, conceded a lot of points. Went to Doncaster. A lot of Castle fans are seeing online wasn't overly pleased with the performance compared to the other Super League teams and what sort of points they were putting on the Championship.
No mugs that Doncaster team, though, are there? Some good players in there. And
there is, 100% there is. Don't get me wrong, fans aren't going to see it like that. I think this one could be an upset. Honestly, could be. This one could be an upset. I reckon they won't let Bevan French get out there. They won't let him do.
I can't tell you been serious.
Honestly, it could be an upset, this one. It could be. This one could be an upset, Judd. telling you.
I can't tell if you've been serious or not, but
Honestly, blatant half against an hat-trick. Ramoala's got to get two on we.
that's that. I can see you scoring a few tries, to be fair. Yeah, I think Wigan have obviously had a convincing victory, haven't they, against Rochdale, but Wigan are obviously coming over. They're on back of a big win. Castleford obviously at home. There's a lot of a buzz around Castleford at the minute. I know I think their season ticket sales have gone kind of through the roof, so that's really positive for them. They're starting to make obviously changes to their ground as well. And then Wigan are Wigan out there. They're coming over with a stacked squad. I can see where you're coming from. I'm just thinking, so much that whether it's rain. I mean, Cass have done it before, haven't they? They've beat Wigan at home. It's not like they haven't ever done it before. I know some clubs that they struggle against every time they'll turn up at Weldon Road, but are they going to have it in them to stop Wigan winning?
Obviously, people are going to look at the score lines over sort of like I say, Castleford's 2 games. Obviously, Doncaster and St Helens one, where they played a full strength squad. It's not an easy place to go. It's a small pitch, innit? So
that's the benefit to them.
Yeah.
Like I say, the thing is, when Cass play at home on a Sunday afternoon, generally they're hoping for Sunday afternoon, cracking flags, good weather, and that's where sometimes they can end up turning teams over and catching them cold. But I don't know. I think it's going to be tight. Do Cass win? I'm not sure. Do they end up getting a victory? I just feel like they've got players there that, again, similarly to sort of like your teams that are throwing players into the mix here, like Catalan, they're throwing players in, 6 or 7 players for round 1 that have not played for that team before. They've got about 10, 11 players. They've completely changed.
I think it's more or less brand new.
Team's pretty much brand new. Can they click? They might surprise us. They could upset Wigan on Sunday afternoon. What a start to the campaign that'd be for them if they can get a win under the belt. Because I think obviously it's not an easy start for them, but I don't think it gets any easier for Cass either. Because I think them 3 promoter clubs are looking at teams like Cass and maybe Huddersfield and targeting them as they are winnable games. So Cass are almost been hunted, but they are also trying to hunt. And yeah, I think a lot of their players, some I think are going to do really well. I think some are going to really struggle. I think they've took a big punt, on some of them. And will it turn out and pay off? Maybe 1 or 2 might. I think some of them are just going to be straight back to New South Wales Cup, if I'm honest. Probably in Championship in another couple of years. I don't know. There's good things going on at Cass. Wigan are coming to town. You know what you're getting with Wigan. They're a good team. They're stacked all over the park. They've got the young guns coming through now, like Eckersley, players like that are performing really well towards the back end of the year. Probably he was could see himself as really lucky to miss out on that grand final. But yeah, it's not even thinking about the likes of Bevan French, Jai Field, Harry Smith. I don't know if did I see something about there were a doubt for Harry Smith? I don't think he played.
If not playing, so I think they'll go obviously Faramond.
Yeah,
who
was a class player, really good.
Yeah,
really well thought.
Obviously, Castleford are going to have a real, an unbelievable game to get that victory.
Yeah, they need Wigan to have a really poor game by their standards. In Cassidy's inspiring. Cassidy had a 9.9 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously there could be an upset in any of them, but this one I'm not going to go with Castleford, but I am going to go with Wigan, but I think it's going to be a close game. This one,
possible golden point. We will see. So I suppose just to wrap it up, then I'll go through mine first, and then I'll go through Shay's as well. So I've gone Hull KR, Lee at home, Catalan at home, Saints away at Warrington, Hull FC at home, Wakefield Trinity at home, and then I'm going to go with Wigan just to nick a win, maybe by golden point, or possibly kicking might prove pivotal in that game. And then Shay, you're going with Hull KR away at York, Catalan at home, Lee at home, Warrington at home to Saints, Hull FC at home, Trinity at home, and then Wigan away at Castleford. But again, similarly to myself, thinking that Wigan might be just able to snatch a victory away at Castleford. So that wraps episode 6 of Unfiltered Rugby League. Our predictions for round 1, and then what that looks like. We look forward to reviewing these this time next week, and then looking ahead at the weekend fixtures after that. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube and Spotify channels. Comment, let us know your feedback, let us know your predictions for round 1. Hopefully, it's going to be a bumper kickstart to Super League, and we are all looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming. Enjoy the weekend. Let us know what games you get into, and let us know if you agree with our predictions. Thanks again to Nova Coffee for sponsoring our podcast and hosting our podcast this evening, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers.